Okay, so you're welcome back into the studio. This is Healthy Morning here on HSTV, and just gone by was James on a health-tainment conversation with Alligator. It's now time for us to focus our lens on another important health concern here in the country, and what it is that across the globe on the 12th of May we celebrate or we mark International Nurses Day. As to why that day is set aside for us to recognize our nurses, we'll be talking about it in this conversation that is going to end shortly, and I'm going to do this with the chairman for the Mental Health Nurses Group under the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, and is also the district chairman of the Korle-Klottey district. I'm talking about Mr. Samuel Cudjoe. Hanu, good morning.
Good morning.
Hope you're well.
Yes, I hope you're also doing well.
I'm doing well by God's grace.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. And the International Nurses Day is a global celebration, and it's every 12th of May, and then it's to clearly mark the founder of nurses, Florence Nightingale's birth. Sure. But why is there really a need for you to celebrate or recognize the nurses? Here we are.
Yeah, so thank you for this question. So nurses are a core part of our health delivery system in the country. Okay. So without nurses, I mean, health will probably come to a halt, you know. So there's a need for us to celebrate this day, one, to celebrate the achievement of Florence Nightingale, who is our lead, or somebody we look up to, and also to bring to fore the importance that nurses play in our healthcare delivery and some of the challenges that they face in their everyday practice. Okay. So we mark this day every year just to create the awareness and also to share with policymakers and with governments some of our challenges and some of the things we need to do to retain, sustain, and help to improve our health
We'll get
system.
into what you need to do to retain and sustain your health system, but you have activities that you look up to. Share with us some of them.
Yes, so as an association at the national level on Friday, which is the 12th of May, there will be an event at the National Secretariat where we are having, we've invited dignitaries, including the Honorable Female Pare, to grace the occasion to have to create the necessary awareness to bring people. So that's one of the activities we are doing at the national level. And from there, the regional association at the regional level too, we are also supposed to mark the activity at the occasion. Then from the regional level, the districts are also supposed to do some amount of activity to create awareness. It also dovetails down to our facilities as well, so the hospitals. The nurses are supposed to gather, if not for anything, just to gather and talk about some of the achievements, some of the challenges, and the way to go forward. Yes,
so is it amongst yourselves, or you invite the general public as well?
So for the national activity, I mean, because of the numbers, but normally we'll go Facebook Live, so anybody can join. If you're a nurse, wherever you are, you can join. If you're a public person, you can also join to be part of it. Because what we are doing, apart from our national executives, our national president, Madam Perpetual Ampofo, there are other people who are not nurses who grace the occasion and come and speak to us. Right.
Looking at this year's theme, our nurses, our future, it's quite unfortunate that the greatest threat is the shortage of the workforce. And here in Ghana, we see that, or even from your association, we heard from you that you spoke about a number of about 400 to 500 people or nurses who always want to leave the country just because of how uncomfortable they are with challenges they face, the meager salaries and all of that. And then not long ago, UK red-listed Ghana and some other countries that the mass recruitment has to be on hold. But then another right of a normal Ghanaian citizen, who can be a nurse or any other person, is the right to migrate.
Sure.
So in as much as UK has red-listed us, you can really go out to other countries. How are you taking it as an association?
Yes, so it is quite unfortunate that we train a lot of these nurses and we are not able to retain them. I can tell you that most of these nurses, you don't need much to retain them. They want to have job security. They want to improve upon their lot. They want to have good pensions, So, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I've been outside there, the cold. People don't want to be that. I mean, there's no place like home, if you tell me.
Definitely.
I mean, so, but about remuneration, these days, a qualified nurse, it take like 2,000 Ghana cedis. What would it do for them?
Okay.
They are having to pick transportation from sometimes 2, 3. Some people have to get up as early as 4 a.m. just to get to work.
Okay.
By the time they get to work, they are already exhausted and tired. Some of the frustrations we see at the workforce because of some of these things, you know. So it is quite disheartening that we are training a lot of people and we are losing them, but we need just a little thing to just retain them.
Okay.
You know, some people are having challenges at their work, at their facilities. I mean, opportunities for progression, you know, to advance. You know, they go for further studies. When they come, will they be recognized?
Okay.
You know, will they be used to upgrade them?
Okay.
When opportunities come, do they have opportunity to go and learn and come? You know, is there any mortgage for housing, for pension, means of transport, all these things?
All of that.
You know,
What other challenges do you face aside the migrating?
Yeah, so aside the migration that we have, sometimes nurses not being involved in on the policy table. So nurses, when you look at our work, we are implementers of policies. But when it comes to our future and discussions, sometimes we are left out.
Okay.
And when you leave us out, you go and plan and come and give us to us to implement. It will not work. You know, you definitely nothing for us without us. You can't plan something that involves us without bringing us to the table. Some people complain that, oh, we don't have the capacity, but build the capacity of the person. Is the person trainable? Is it not possible for you to sponsor the person to go and do some management program to come and be part of the policy making? You know, so we don't treat some professionals as supreme, then others are looked down on. So what happens is that when they face the frustration, the only thing they can't see a future. Look at me, I'm a young man. Some of them are men. They have to take off their homes and they are giving them this meager salary. They have to run.
You know, late last year, we saw that the Ashanti Regional Director of the National Service Secretariat verbally assaulted a nurse at the Misha Government Hospital. And then what the nurses were calling for or asking the government was for him to step down as an authority in the next 72 hours. And I'm curious, on what basis do you call for strikes?
Oh wow! So I don't know whether you follow, but the National Association rescinded because we were expecting that the man would be taken through due process.
But then he was suspended.
He was suspended
at the end of the day.
Yes.
Because of your threats of calling on a strike
action. I mean, yes. But
so on what basis do you have to call for strikes?
We wanted an action to be taken against the man, so we didn't go on it. But it was a threat that we issued, and you know our numbers. It is possible we can grind the health system down. So government listened to us. So at the point they're behind the doors negotiations and talking and lobbying. So we did not call upon the strike. But we thought that for you to move from your house and come and insult a professional, I mean, it is a no go area. And this thing has been happening, bullying at the workplace. You know, we suffer bullying from superiors, we suffer bullying also from the public. You know, it's a health team and we work together as a health team. But usually when the recognition comes, it goes to some group of, I don't want to mention them, and we leave the nurses. But if the nurses are not there, in fact, research shows that in Africa, we are now catching up with technology in our healthcare system, you know. But the difference that we can make is the human factor. Okay. So if the machines are not there, but the human is there to observe, intervene, take action in real time, we are good to go.
Yeah, we're good to go. I believe that the nursing work or the midwifery work or the health work is really a stressful one, and that's how come you are taking a day off to recognize the nurses and all of that. But what kind of social or fun activities do you recommend for your nurses, midwives, and all of that? And how or what is your code of conduct saying to balance their social life? Because not long ago we saw a young girl in the Navalugu, area whose TikTok video went viral. How or what does your code of ethics say to balance their social lives with regard to their career lives?
Well, so as individuals, we are individuals before we became professional nurses.
Definitely.
So you must be able to know when you are wearing your uniform, your professional etiquette and things that you need to do. Okay. And so I tell my students, I have people that I teach, I tell them that if I meet you at a Accra Mall and you are wearing whatever dress you are wearing, I don't mind. Okay. But I will not. I'll look at you second time when you are wearing a uniform, you're not wearing it properly, or you're wearing the uniform and you are misbehaving, if I should put it that way, for a lack of a better word. So therefore, we have etiquette, but we also encourage our nurses to live there. Some of them are young. We are young. Some of them are looking for partners. Some of them are not married. So feel free and have your life. Okay. But know that when you are at the workplace and you're wearing your uniform, you are doing a professional work. When you change, you're also a member of the society. You also take off our mental health.
Right.
There's no health without mental health. In fact, you need to be sound in mind before you can take off another person. So we encourage, in fact, there are times that the association ourselves, we've encouraged, like the Greater Accra Nurses Association, the executives, they organize excursions or beach parties for us to come. But for some nurses are too engrossed in their work and don't even find time to go and have fun. Or the salaries are not enough for them to be able to set time aside for holidays. So nurses go on leave and they go and work. So the time they return from work to their regular work, they are more than even tired and exhausted.
I see. Talking about mental health and all of that, I think that even after your Nurses Day celebration on Friday in June next month, you are having an annual scientific conference at the Secretariat, and the theme is repositioning mental health care. What about that?
Yeah. So just like I told you, mental health. I mean, in the aftermath of the COVID. Now we've all realized how important it is to take off our mental health, you know. So we are also trying to bring our mental health nurses together and talk about the future of mental health nursing. We need to reposition ourselves to be able to intervene. Is it possible we can even do things to prevent people from having to come to the hospital, like the mental hospital? Is there a way we can intervene when there's crisis, not only for the public, but even for we the mental health professionals or we the health professionals?
You think you're prone to mental insanity?
I mean, when you look at something like post-traumatic stress disorder or vicarious stress, when you see we see a lot of people who are wounded, people who are injured, and need the heart to be able to take good care of them. Sometimes you take care of these people and you go home and it's following you.
Wow.
I'm telling you that there are some wounds when you dress in the hospital. It's like the smell of the wound takes you to your room. I'm telling you, it works with you. So we face a lot of trauma and stressful situations, and there's a need for us to be able to take care of our mental health and our health.
Thank you very much. Tell us again the activities you have, so we wrap up, and then where exactly the national events are taking place.
Yeah, so on Friday at 10 a.m. at the National Secretariat at Shiashi, the National Executive Council led by our President, Madam Perpetual Foriampofo, will host a program where we are having dignitaries coming to grace the occasion, where we are inviting nurses, inviting a number of nurses to grace the occasion, where we discuss some of the issues, our challenges, and it's also an opportunity to put before government some of the things we think has to be done to retain our nurses, or broadly speaking, our professional health workers in the country, so that we can improve our healthcare system in Ghana.
Thank you very much for passing by. I think we have to wrap up at this point, and this brings us to the end of the segment Stay Alive. My name is Stephanie Ajojinam Anyana, and my conversation was with the chairman for Mental Health Nurses Group and the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. He's also the district chairman for the Korle-Klottey district as well, Mr. Samuel Cudjoe. So in conclusion, coming Friday, all roads lead to Shiashi, the Secretariat, where we are recognizing and appreciating our nurses, because it's International Nurses Day, because they have given out all of their efforts to fight against COVID-19, even recently Lassa fever and all of that. So there is a need for us to take time off and recognize them and appreciate them. And thank you, viewers, as well, for staying with us from morning till now.